Talk about it. Props to Florida. Props to Florida. They showed me something. The Florida Gators showed me something. I got to give love to the Florida Gators. I get mad
we'll give love to the silver and black too, because they put on a show as well. The Hall of Famer, hello, sir. Always great to have you, Michael Irvin. We'll be talking your Cowboys as well, of course. But guys, what a battle in Baltimore. Can we please talk about that game?
Maybe I wanted to be sure myself, you know. I knew he was going to say yes, so, but we were going for it at that point.
Would there have been a doubt if it was any other player at quarterback, if we didn't have Lamar?
Well, Mahomes, I bet they're going for it too with Patrick Mahomes. How about that?
It feel good to get that monkey off our back. It just feel good, you know. Got to move on to Detroit now. You know, we ain't win the Super Bowl yet. It's just one game. We just got to keep staying focused.
Michael, do you think the Ravens could be favorites in the AFC?
That was a hell of a win yesterday. I talked about it before I called it the money game. Because Lamar's negotiating his own deal. You know what I mean? How do you think, what would it be like for you to go in here and negotiate with these people and they're saying to you, we can't give you all that money. You never be Patrick Mahomes. So congratulations to Lamar. And congratulations to the Ravens. And Ray Lewis, who hits me up on this. But the reality is, they cannot be the favorites. They cannot. You're not going to put them in front of, right now, Kansas City. And I always say this, people. I always say this. There's a difference between great and greatness. Okay. Great says, I did something for a moment in time. Greatness says, I do this thing over time. And Lamar played great. Patrick Mahomes is greatness. This is what he does. You won a game yesterday, but you cannot be the favorite because your attack is different than the attack of Patrick Mahomes, and they're so explosive. Absolutely not the favorite.
I will tell you this. When you ask the question, and the operative word is could. They're not the favorites now, but they continue to do the kind of stuff we saw last night. You're damn right they could be for a couple of reasons. Number one, Lamar Jackson did run the football for 106 yards. Let's get that out of the way. Number two, it's the 5th time in his career that he's passed for over 200 and ran for over 100. Number three, he's the only quarterback in history that has had back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons. And so when I look at yesterday, I'm thinking about passing 18 for 26, 239 yards. Okay, the 2 interceptions, not a good thing. A pick 6 by Tyrann Mathieu, 3rd play of the game. We see all of that. But the reality is that when you look at how potent he could be running the football, that is something he could do on a week-to-week basis. He's shown us how electrifying he is. He's on another level, even another level from Michael
running
Vick.
The ball.
But we're talking about what he does overall in terms of passing and running the football. Right. And the fact that he ran the football for 106 yards. Is he capable of doing that? Damn right he is, anytime. Here's the reason why I would tell you also, keep your eyes on Kansas City. I don't know about anybody else, but I wasn't impressed with that defense. I wasn't impressed with that defense.
Tyrann Mathieu, I was impressed with. His first game this season.
His first game back.
Honey Badger all over the place.
He was down week 1 with COVID and what have you. But keep in mind, this is the same Kansas City Chiefs defense that got smoked in the Super Bowl. And that same dude, Tyrann Mathieu, was a guy that Tom Brady was chirping against in the Super Bowl and gave it to him. Remember, we've never seen Tyrann Mathieu that rattled as he was in the Super Bowl. Let's pay attention to something like this. So I'm all saying to Mike is this. Again, Kansas City's Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce.
Right.
We get all of that. But with Kansas City being as suspect as they are, the fact is, if you look at somebody like a Lamar Jackson, and if he plays the way that he played yesterday, I think that you're going to see a lot of people looking at them and saying, wait a minute, who's going to beat him?
And you just said it's easy, and he does this all the time. You yelled out he had 5 100-yard games. It ain't the yardage up and down the field. You can have those. It's the touchdowns. Now, he only had his second 100-yard rush day with 2 touchdowns. That's what he needs, the 2 touchdowns. Oh, yeah, plenty of 100. But to beat the Chiefs, you got to put the ball in the end zone. No. Consistently, continuously. And that's what they do. Make no mistake about it. You talk about Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce had his 32nd career 100-yard game. This is what they do all the time. This is something spectacular and super You saw how happy the Ravens were. The Ravens, I don't even think they believe that they can beat the Chiefs. They don't think they can beat. They were so excited and so happy to do this consistently. That kind of effort, that throw he made, jumping up and making that completion. That's all I'm saying. Until he consistently knows, until he
generate stops when they need to be able to do so. Remember with Cleveland, they gave up 29 points. They gave up the early lead. Last night, they gave up 36 points. This defense is suspect right now. There's no way around it. Yeah. And then when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, with a Tyreek Hill, with a Travis Kelce, okay, I look at them as saying, you know something, we're confident because we got Mahomes and the crew, we going to be all right. And so some things are not prioritized on the defensive side of the ball the way that it should be. And I think we've seen that.
Yeah.
Molly said something about the Honey Badger.
Yeah.
Getting him back.
200.
Getting him time to work his way in. Now, that offense of the Chiefs is going to limit most offenses that they play against. They're going to make you one-dimensional because you got to throw the ball to catch up. They're going to make you one-dimensional. And his ability to fake out quarterbacks, to play quarterback from that safety position, the Ed Reed stuff, the stuff Troy Polamalu is incredible and insane. Yes. So, yes, that defense is suspect, but the offense helped cover the warts that you see on the tail of that defense.
Well, again,
that's what I'm telling you.
Again, if I had to bet my money, I'm betting on Kansas City. All I'm saying is that if we continue to see this defense, because based on, I'm not even talking about the offense because we know how lethal it is.
Right.
But if you're telling me, and unless you can tell me you have no concerns about that defense moving forward, I'm going to tell you they can be had. They've already gotten had in the Super Bowl. They could be had in the postseason before Super Bowl if that defense doesn't liven up.
And y'all just remember this on the way out.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill was quiet yesterday.
Yes, he was.
He was quiet.
Yes, he was.
Can you imagine if he wanted to rattle? They put 5 people on him. We started seeing people that here's this potato chip Pringle. He's scoring touchdowns. Right. Everybody's scoring touchdowns.
Oh, he was just airing it out. He got everyone involved on Kansas City.
I ain't taking nothing away from the Baltimore Ravens. Great job, man. I'm just saying, keep working. Just like Lamar said, keep working. You're not there yet.
Real quick, before we move on, how about the rookie on Baltimore's defense, Odafe Awe? He had incredible plays as well. Big time plays.
Well, he's the one that stripped. He's the one that stripped Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
He had 2 really big moments. All right. So Baltimore has the 3rd best odds to win the AFC as of right now. That's behind Kansas City and Buffalo, who had a huge day as well. Let's go to the Cowboys now.
That's what you do it for the ball. Telling them that. We talked about it all week long, and now we've got the game in a position that we wanted. So it's on us to go capitalize and go finish this game off, and we're able to get it in field goal range, and it was just a relief, right? I mean, the first win of many, and the first one's usually the hardest, and it was.
Absolutely.
Okay, you get comfy. Oh, wait, you got the plaid on the shoes and on the suit?
It's all good. It's all good.
Right.
Okay.
Go.
By the way,
now that's old money.
By the way, did you see him with Jerry Jones yesterday on NFL? Did you see him with Jerry Jones? It was just so touching to watch them together. It was so touching.
It was a family affair.
Go ahead.
Family affair there. Go ahead. Michael, talk to me. Do you believe in the Cowboys' defense?
Let me tell you what I've seen, and we talked about this. We got the data from these first 2 weeks. We got real information from these first 2 weeks.
Analytics.
When I came in here and did my top 5, I put D on the board. You wanted to key and car me right on out the room, didn't you? And then I told you about Dan Quinn, and you said, what? You laughed awfully loud. And I want to let you know, not only do I believe in this defense right now is playing championship defense. Championship defense.
Wait. The NFC East championship or Super Bowl?
Let me talk. Because the reality is, and this is something I never subscribed to. I never subscribed to this notion that defense wins championship. And people always, defense wins championships. Stop saying that. If you had 100 plays on defense and you start them 99 plays and somebody scores 1 play and you didn't put any points on the board, you lose the game. Defense doesn't win championship. But turnover defense wins championship. Red zone defense wins championship. You rush defense wins championship. And the Dallas Cowboys are right at the top when you talk about turnovers. Yes, you look at what you've seen, you said, well, they gave up 30-some points against the champions. Yes, they did, but they took the ball also from the great Tom Brady. Turnover defense, give us the short field, put points back on the board. And you get them in the red zone. Get them in the red zone. No one has more takeaways in the red zone than the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not talking about good defense. This is championship defense. This is how you win championships. Right here, taking the ball away, and that's what the Dallas Cowboys are doing. I don't even need to talk about the young talent you see on this team with Michael Parsons and that young boy Trayvon Diggs. You're seeing something. Michael Parsons was off the chain yesterday. Never played defensive end. He was just practicing and learning how to line up. And now you see how he got to the quarterback. Oh, when DeMarcus Lawrence and everybody gets back, can you see what this is about to be? I'm telling you, the Dallas Cowboys defense is, it's not anything to laugh about anymore. They showed up and showed out and won a game in 2 minutes. The more games are won in the NFL in the last 2 minutes than anywhere. And the Dallas Cowboys did that. Yes. I was like, okay. I wanted to call you, but I was on the airplane watching. And I was trying to call. I said, God, I can't even call him, man. I know it was rough for you, buddy. I know it was rough.
First of all,
championship defense.
Are you finished? Because are you finished?
You go ahead on, but you can't shoot the numbers.
Couple things. Number one, I will remind you. Number one, I picked the Cowboys to win this game. Number two, I got them going 11-6 and winning the NFC East. So I think they have to win a few games in order to do that. It ain't like I predicted they going 0-16, okay? So let's get that 0-17. So let's get that out the way, okay? Let's get that out the way for these sorry, nauseated, disgusting Cowboys fans to get on my last damn nerves, acting like I said they were going to go 0-17. Now let's get into the particulars, okay? When you talk about the availability of the players, well, don't we have an obligation to say why they're not available? So we got DeMarcus Lawrence. He's got the foot injury.
His foot injury.
We got La'el Collins. We got La'el Collins. Why is he going? Suspended for about 5 games for performance-enhancing use. I mean, that's right. We got
for missing tests.
Oh, I'm sorry, for missing tests. Okay, my bad. So he just missed tests because he was. What was he doing? Shopping for some cologne?
No,
what was he doing? Because remember years ago we had a Dallas Cowboy that got in trouble because he was at a department store robbing it for cologne and a pair of drawers. I mean, that's all time. So let's get that way.
But this is when I know I got you. No, you're already off the field. We're on the first pass by right here in this conversation, and you already took it off the field.
May I speak?
Get it back on the field. Get it back on the field.
Randy Gregory, you sure he can be available? I'm just saying. Randy Gregory, let's be clear about stuff like that. Now let's get to on the field. I recall 7 consecutive possessions, if I remember correctly, where the Los Angeles Chargers got to the Dallas Cowboy 35-yard line. They were at minimum. They were moving the ball up and down the field most of the afternoon. That's number one. Number two, I recall a touchdown pass that was negated that ultimately intercepted because Keenan Allen fell in the end zone. That's all right, though. It happens. It's football. But I recall it fell. So they were in the end zone, and Keenan Allen fell, and that's why. What happened with the other? Because I wrote this down. Because right here, the second touchdown, what happened? Late in the fourth quarter, an illegal shift for a would-be touchdown was going. An illegal shift, so they called it back, okay? The refs called Herbert in the grasp of the quarterback, which, by the way, I don't believe he was. I don't believe he was. That's neither here nor there, okay? Not to mention a missed field goal. Let's not forget that. I love how you just completely omit that stuff. I just gave you 17 points that the Chargers should have had.
Stopped him in the red zone.
Listen, here's what I'm saying to you.
This is what I'm saying, red zone.
The Dallas Cowboys defense is ranked second to last against the pass. We forgot that too. That's okay though. You can sit up here and act like, oh, my Lord, this defense is a championship defense. I'm trying to bless you with this knowledge and all of this other stuff. At the end of the day, here's what I will say for you complimentary about the Dallas Cowboy defense. They ain't last year. I give you that. They ain't last year. They're not the god-awful defense led by Mike Nolan, who should have never been hired, that was existing last year. Dan Quinn playing with absolute house money because they couldn't get any worse is better, and the defense is better as a result. But it ain't nothing to brag about and write home about. Let's keep it in perspective.
Yards are not what makes you get one letter or the other. They don't say, oh, you gave up 300 passing yards.
You bring up yards.
Or it's points. You get a W or an L because of points. Go up and down the field. I told you about that red zone defense. Go up and down the field all you want. But that red zone defense is stopping you. They're 9th right now in red zone defense.
Oh, so you had stats. So you had stats.
Oh, yeah,
so you're going to knock my stats, but you had your own.
No. I don't even play with numbers. I only do it to appease you, to rest your brain.
To rest my brain.
To rest your brain, to give you something here. So you can see that the numbers, because you'll come here and think, oh, it's just me speaking out my heart. And that my brain has died because the love for the Cowboys have overtaken it. But I'm telling you the gospel here. I'm telling you what you like to play with, the numbers. And the numbers say, oh, no, this ain't an elite defense. It says it's a championship defense. By the numbers, the takeaway
I ain't
numbers.
no analytics, dude. I don't give a damn about the numbers to that point. I go by what I see. And I saw the Chargers moving the ball up and down the field. And Dallas get lucky on at least 4 occasions.
And you saw Dallas win that football game after playing the champs to the tilt, to the end. They lost with the champs by 100 seconds, and then they came back.
Let me give you a good number, Stephen A. Dallas currently leading the NFL with 6 takeaways.
That's it, period. Number one.
Leading the NFL.
What I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, that's fine.
What I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, well.
But you can't just say that's fine and toss that away.
No. I'm not tossing it away. I give credit where credit is due. Second-year quarterback in Justin Herbert made a couple of errors he shouldn't have made.
But that's why you sweat on your own show. I see it.
No, I've been sweating.
I've been sweating.
Haven't I been sweating?
No. I'm here. If the Cowboys are winning.
If anything, I've been sweating is that damn suit. It's that damn suit from last year you brought from Southern California yesterday. But here's the deal. At the end of the day, here's the bottom line. Y'all lucked up, and I give him credit where credit is due. Like I said, you got your 6 takeaways. All right, so you relying on that. That ain't going to continue to happen. But it is what it is. It is what you have your day. I'm going to give you your day.
Time out. If you want to get on him about something, and I want to talk about this anyway, let's talk about the bad clock management.
By Mike McCarthy.
That's something you can get on the Cowboys about.
Got rescued. Well, he just said, well, in fairness to Mike McCarthy, here's the reason why I don't even want to get on Mike McCarthy about that. The man said he was looking at the clock. And
you know what I mean? So he had a lot of faith in him. I'm not saying that my level of faith and confidence was in the same place that his was. I was like, hey, come on, man, let's go. We can get a little closer. We can do something else. But they won the game. They won the game in the end. It didn't hurt them this time, but it's something that they have to tighten down. But I don't want everybody around here. And I heard y'all on those previous shows talking about that. You know, all I'm trying to say is I'm here now. We're not going to let y'all come up with those stories to rob our glory from where we are right now. The Dallas Cowboys, you see what they look like.
You're 1-1.
You're 1-1. Great 1-1 right now.
You're 1-1.
Because we know we're better for the champions.
Stephen A, you have to say it is a good 1-1.
It's a good 1-1.
The first one was in Tampa against the defending champs.
He gave me this. I couldn't wait to come here like this.
Michael, we're standing in agreement on that.
I couldn't wait to come here like this. I knew it was going to be like this. I knew it. I didn't mind the suit, and I don't even ever wear the same thing, but I don't even make me uncomfortable.
Kind of a lucky suit at this point.
Because we're so happy right now.
All right.
We so happy.
We'll move on.
Right now.
I give it to him. I give it to him today. I saw a defensive suspect. I saw I saw the Chargers moving the football. I saw a young quarterback make mistakes. It's all right.
DeMarcus Lawrence about 6 to 8 weeks.
Y'all bring him a towel.
All right, guys. Still to come on first day. Bears fans got their...
It happened overnight, so I'm just going to keep grinding. And, you know, no matter what happens, I know I'm meant for this. And I'm meant to be here.
All right, Ryan Clark joining us. We have 2 Super Bowl champs now and a really rich journalist. I'll start with you, Michael. If Dalton, I wish I could see his face. If Dalton can't play, should Fields start or Nick Foles? What do you think, Michael?
Listen, when you're building a quarterback, a young quarterback, we all get to look at his physical skill set and we say, wow, look how talented this dude is. Oh, look at how great he is running, getting outside the pocket and making plays. And Justin Fields has all of that. But the most important thing is his mentality.
Right.
I love what I just heard.
Exactly.
I love what I just heard. I'm built for this. I mean, it's great. I want you to be a person that wants to go out there. I have to be smart enough to hold you back. I'd rather you want to go instead of me pushing you to want to go, but I have to be smart enough to hold you back. To look at the situation in Chicago.
Playmaker.
Chicago, they haven't had a quarterback in 100 million years. They're looking for one. You can deliver him, Justin Fields, as a savior and a hero and not make him the GOAT of this season
before we started
him right now. You start Nick Foles.
Mike, before we started, you said he comes on presidential clean, right?
Yes.
And you said you come on brother clean.
Brother clean.
Right? You must have forgotten you went to the U, right? Because the U, y'all don't play scary. So now you're going to come on here and you're going to tell this man to coach scared? It's not just about the fact that Justin Fields can get outside the pocket. Molly read the stats. What she didn't say was this. Allen Robinson, who usually makes bad quarterbacks look good, dropped the touchdown.
He's a bad boy.
Dropped the touchdown, right? There was a ball that hits off of Mooney's hand, but after he throws the interception, he has to come out now and ice the game. He has to come out and win the game. It's 3rd and 9. He's hitting the pocket. He gets out. He slides before getting out of bounds because he understands it. And even with all that, he says, you know what? I know I can be better. I know I can do more.
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
There's a quote that says this, Stephen A. This is what the quote says.
Okay.
Any fool can make a rule, and any fool will mind it. He made a rule that Andy Dalton was going to start. That was a fool's rule because you let the best player start. And now God has given you an opportunity through an injury to let Justin Fields play. You let him do that. He's the best opportunity for this team to win football games.
There's pressure being put on that situation in Chicago right now. And Coach Nagy has an obligation to protect the young man also. Everybody's calling for him. Everybody's calling for him right now. But remember, yesterday, you said what you will, when he threw the ball, still 27 passer rating. So you're saying, oh, he hit 27, let's put him out there full time. Let's put him out there and let teams scheme for him. Scheme for him, confuse him, and maybe lose him.
Andy Dalton, 4.5 yards per attempt. Justin Fields, over 9 yards per attempt.
Understood.
2 different things.
I do understand that. First things, a couple of points to point out here. Number one, I often say I'm brilliant because I know I'm not. I listen to those who are, and I let them bless me with their knowledge. I know my place here. Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl champion. I know when to back up, so that's why I waited this long to chime in. Number two, you did say I look presidential. Well, let me remind you what that means. I'm the chief executive officer. That means I'm the chief executive officer, the commander-in-chief.
Oh, that's what it is, right?
So in other words, my opinion counts in the end, okay? Now, here's the deal, fellas. Here's the deal.
Oh, man.
I get where you're coming from with Andy Dalton in comparison to Justin Fields, but Andy Dalton is out now. We got to remember, Andy Dalton never won a Super Bowl championship.
Correct.
Justin Fields just got here, he won a Super Bowl championship. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl championship. And so when I look at Chicago right now, I'm saying to myself, again, you got Cleveland coming up next. We know what kind of monsters they've got in their defensive line.
Right.
And they can throw in the direction of Justin Fields. We don't have that much faith in Nagy as of yet. Even though they've got to the playoffs 2 times in his tenure there, we've got questions about him. And we got to think about what's available for Justin.
No matter what, you put Nick Foles in right now, Nick Foles goes and he messes up. Now you put in the kid, whatever he gives you is a win. Because you're going through the 2 guys, so you know you got no possibility of going anywhere.
Right, so
now whatever he gives you is a win. Because even if you lose, you winning because he's getting the experience.
Playmaker, that's not it, though.
I know you ain't saying
there's 4
he's about
guys
to go
drafted.
win. Justin Fields about to go win. He's not going to be
There's
here running.
4 guys drafted in the first round. The other 3 are already starting. If I'm Chicago, yes, I'm stars for him. 1, because he's talented enough. 2, because this is what happens now in the NFL. We don't get to wait. We got 4 years to figure out either I give you a new contract.
They're rolling them in quicker.
It's time for him to play.
They're rolling them in quicker when they make it their offense. I like the way Jalen Hurts look right now because they finally making it his offense. You seeing some good things out of it. Right now, Justin Fields coming in and he's running, I guess, Andy Dalton's offense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Quick.
We'll see a lot more rollouts when they make it.
And by the way, the
I'm not
level of
disrespecting
urgency that Chicago has it would be different had they lost yesterday.
Right.
The fact that they won,
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
you can still
that's what I'm saying.
start somebody else.
Can I throw something else out there? Because you guys mentioned the Philly connection.
Dude,
don't
don't break
forget,
this
Carson
rule.
Wentz also went down. So there's a possibility that Indy might be trying to acquire Nick Foles.
Well, he ain't there yet.
Yeah.
Well, they need to let him have him because he sure don't need to start at quarterback this week, like y'all said. I bet that.
Hey, listen,
I think all I said was let Chicago get past week 3 against Cleveland without starting Justin
Let 'em
Fields
exhaust
and then hand
all
the ring.
means.
So you and I don't disagree.
So
we only
my
disagree
question
about
is
this coming week.
So
no,
one of y'all,
none of us disagree on that he should.
one of you guys with
It's
all
just
this
win.
wisdom, right? With all this wisdom, answer me this. Why are we treating Justin Fields like a baby, but not Trevor Lawrence, but not Zach Wilson, but not Mac Jones?
Because-
what is the difference between
Because-
Justin Fields and those guys?
A couple of things. Number one, your offensive line is suspect, and number two, and more importantly, you got Matt Nagy. In Jacksonville, you got Urban Meyer. Clearly, you draft Trevor Lawrence number 1 overall. He's the franchise, and you ain't got much to go on from there. Okay, you look at Mac Jones. He's got Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, and he beat out Cam Newton. You see that situation in New England. Zach Wilson. I mean, we might need to rethink what the hell's going on in New York right now.
Don't do it like that.
We might need to think about that.
Question worries me. You asking that question worries me.
Why does that worry you? What's the
You know
difference?
why? Because we're still developing the kid. In
So
the
the other three
What
aren't
you're talking about
you're-
put him on the
you're saying he
field
can't
is
throw a
destroying his
football?
legs. You're talking
No,
about
I'm
put him
not
on the field
talking
for his
about
legs. Yeah, we're still developing him in the passing game. That's why we're saying he's not
this is the
Trevor Lawrence.
This is
all
the same
those
thing
guys,
they said
they're
about
living off
Lamar.
their
Don't you
own.
do that, playmaker.
No, but
Don't
to
come on
Ryan's
here.
point, they have rookie coaches.
Yes, don't come on here and start that narrative. We're developing him in the passing game. If you watch the game yesterday, he's 6 for 11. One of the balls hit Allen Robinson for a touchdown.
On a basic drop out of on a blitz.
It's a
Basic
zero
lineman
blitz.
drop
He drops out. It's crossing.
He doesn't spot that up. He doesn't see it. That's all.
So Trevor Lawrence, 3 interceptions week 1. Zach Wilson, 4 interceptions this week, right? So either we bench everybody who has to develop as a passer because clearly Trevor has to. Clearly Zach has to. Let's not start the narrative that this dude can't throw the football. He accounted for 50 touchdowns, 1 interception.
We're not
He
starting
can
the narrative that
play.
he can't throw. But there are some things that he needs to tighten up on.
They all do, though, playmaker, but they can't do it from the sideline.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this.
They all need to improve.
Let me say this. I started off vibing with you.
Yeah.
I didn't, because we talk about the Chicago Bears. I didn't expect them to bring up Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
You understand? And the fact that he brought those two up, it makes a valid point. And then the final vote comes to this. You're a Cowboy. He's not. I'm rolling with him.
Oh, Pittsburgh Steelers. We out of here.
Because the Cowboys winning now. That's only because the Cowboys are winning now.
By
You gotta
yourself.
try to take any victory you can. I understand that. I understand it's hard. I understand how difficult it is.
And to
That's
Ryan's
only
point,
because-
Jets and Jags both
And
have
don't y'all
rookie
ever do no
coaches.
kind of mic drop thing on me and walk away at the same time. What kind of mess is that?
We're having fun. It's Monday. Wow. Let's focus in now on the NFC South battle. Saints at Panthers, a lot of question marks here. Let me couch this by saying New Orleans dealing with COVID protocols and we're without 5 starters on defense and 8 assistant coaches. But Jameis Winston went from hero in week 1 looking like a man. Multiple interceptions, the most of any player since they've entered the NFL in 2015. Those numbers very different than week 1. Ryan, I will start with you here. Who are the real Saints?
The Saints aren't the team we watched the first week that beat the Green Bay Packers 30-3, but they aren't the team that lost to the Carolina Panthers.
You saying
they aren't? They aren't.
Are not.
They're not the
Got it.
week
So
1
here's who they are. They're in the middle. And I think they're a little closer to week 1 than they are to what we saw against the Carolina Panthers. You don't have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on defense. You don't have Marshawn Lattimore. You don't have Marcus Davenport. These are all the pieces that were able to give you the type of defense that stifled and stymied Aaron Rodgers. Now, offensively, we have to understand, Alvin Kamara is on this team. Where is he, Sean Payton? Where's the production from one of the best running backs in the NFL? And now, we looked at Jameis Winston week 1, and there was no way everybody thought that you were going to get 5 touchdowns out of Jameis Winston every week. Sean Payton may be the quarterback whisperer, but he is not Jesus, right? That doesn't change in that manner. But Jameis Winston does need help. There's no Michael Thomas on the outside. There's not a true number 1 on this football team. And so Alvin Kamara has to be the lead dog. Where is he? And the Carolina Panthers are a better defense than people will give them credit for. Their front line, and Dan Orlovsky said this on Get Up, because we were talking about it in the meeting, it's the best defensive front that nobody knows about. It's the one that we don't speak of. And they had pressure on Jameis the entire day, and also he's playing from behind. And so to me, this team is in the middle of week 1 and week 2, but I believe when healthy, they're closer to week 1.
Go ahead, Mike.
Pressure on Jameis, and he's playing from behind. I understand you want to try to split the baby and say, well, defensively, they are a pretty good team. Mm-hmm. But what we were talking about, and all the noise I heard was that, and I was, wasn't that he had a big arm, we all knew that. It was that he made mistakes. And Jameis Winston fell back to those same situations that he was before. They say it takes 21 days to break a habit. He only had 7 in.
He needs a couple more weeks, and then we'll talk.
He needs to get the week.
21
more
days. Does that need to be 21 consecutive days?
21 consecutive days.
That's true.
That's funny. 21 days to break a habit. It was 7 in. That's
It was only 7 in, and he got right back to who he was in that situation. I'm with you. I thought the only chance Jameis Winston had is having Michael Thomas, because just having Alvin Kamara is not enough.
Let me chime in, because I got something to say, but I'm going to give it back to both of y'all. Again, y'all played, I didn't. This is the thing that resonates with me. Number one, let's understand they got the worst passing attack in football right now. They're right dead last. That's number one. Number two, we got to take just a moment to give the Carolina Panthers some props.
You do.
Matt Rule is showing that brother can coach. He really is showing it. And, of course, they're a different team with Christian McCaffrey. Remember, Sam Darnold suddenly doesn't look so bad now that he's away from Adam Gase in New York City.
You love Adam Gase, too.
Gase, the man showed up to a press conference high. His sponsor said, he showed up high. He showed up high. I mean, I knew it from day one. I knew it from day one. Don't get me started with him.
Not that he's away from Adam Gase.
That's right.
He's with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, but I'm saying give Carolina some props.
Right.
Here's my deal. I think they're in the middle, like you said.
Yeah.
Really in the middle. Not closer to what they were against Green Bay. Certainly not as bad as they were yesterday. But Alvin Kamara's got 88 yards rushing in 2 games.
Yes.
Right. In 2 games. That's an average of 44. That's a problem. But here's where I'm coming to y'all, especially you. I really sit here today, I got a real problem with Michael Thomas. And I'm going to tell you why. Physically unable to perform list, we get all of that. Correct me. I'm open to correction. How the hell you getting operated on in June when your season ended in January? And you know you got training camp in July? And you know you got a season that begins in September? No. Listen, what I'm saying is, that's why I said I'm open to correction.
Yeah.
I might have missed it.
Yeah.
And if I miss it, I'll apologize on national television, because real knows real. The point that I'm making is you got $20 million a year. At the time, he was the highest paid receiver in history.
Yep.
Okay? When they signed him to his contract. They gave him $100 million, $20 million per. And your season ends in January, and you get operated on in June, knowing that this is why Sean Payton was ticked off.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, okay, you knew Drew Brees was going to retire.
Yeah.
You knew that you were supposed to be that guy. And on top of it all, it was going to be Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill, okay? And you wait.
Whichever one they were going to need.
That's right. Exactly.
And you wait until June?
Yeah.
Y'all, listen, y'all have been through training camp.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all been through it all. Tell me what I'm missing.
The greatest thing that makes a guy like Michael Thomas tick is his ability to fight. He has great fight in him.
Yeah.
I mean, you mess around with him on that line of scrimmage when he's trying to do his little option.
No doubt.
Right.
He's a legit tough dude.
He's a
big
strong,
dude.
tough
Big dude.
He has
Legit.
great fight. Now, what happens sometimes is we direct the fight in the wrong direction. And something's going on. I don't know what's going on. But obviously, that fight is being directed in a wrong direction.
Is that a fair question that I'm asking?
No, it is absolutely.
The reason it's fair is because of all the things that have surrounded Michael Thomas since signing the deal. Right? You have the fight in practice with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson where you are suspended. Now, I've been in a ton of practice fights. It has to be something where you're in the wrong or a coach is tired of you to suspend you.
And usually it's over.
It's over, right?
It's not anything that goes to that level.
Right, and so now, though, you look at the surgery being late, and he hasn't come out and said why it's late. I don't know if he was trying to rehab it on its own and not have surgery. Yeah. But the problem is, even after that, you get the cryptic tweets, right? They try to throw dirt on your name, call your name, and you get all these stages. So there's just an issue between Michael Thomas and the New Orleans Saints. And this is me saying this. I haven't talked to anybody, but when things go on like this,
you can't but deduce it. You have to
when things go on like this, it's a problem with the organization and the player. But you can't have a problem with your $100 million man in the organization.
The only reason I bring, hold on, Mike.
And I don't
hold on, Mike, because I'm coming to you. The only reason I bring this up right now is because we're talking about the Saints and how awful they looked offensively. Remember, the five guys out were on the defensive side of the ball. The same dudes that showed up when you went up against Green Bay and shellacked them were there yesterday.
Right.
And you look like a completely different team. And I'm saying, yo, this dude right here, to me, is the missing story because he's elite. He's not good.
He is.
He's elite.
We're also not used to having Alvin Kamara put up 25
kind of like just hanging out there. Nobody's grinding on it because it's phenomenal.
Let's go back to what you said, though, Stephen A. Obviously, Jets fans not happy yesterday. Sam Darnold looking good. The Panthers are 2-0. It seems like the change of scenery is good. Christian McCaffrey, phenomenal as usual. You talked about the defense, Ryan. Do you believe in the Carolina Panthers?
I do. I do. I like what I'm seeing from them on both sides of the ball. It's balance. I'm looking at the decision-making of a Sam Darnold. I'm looking at cats like Robbie Anderson and others, and I'm saying, well, these brothers, they ain't no scrubs now. These brothers can play. And, of course, Christian McCaffrey is a stud. I've been on the record in the past literally saying, if the brother was black, he would have got more props. That's how bad he was. That's like reverse discrimination. That's how bad. That's a Christian McCaffrey.
They still don't believe it.
I'm like treat him like Lamar.
Exactly, y'all. Exactly. This dude right here, Christian McCaffrey in Stanford, what he did in Stanford, what he's done since he's come in the NFL, how multifaceted he is, what he brings to the table, how much they lean on this brother, and what they are on the field when he's not there. Christian McCaffrey is special. There's no doubt about it. And so for me, when I look at all of that, and then I look at Matt Rule, the personnel he uses, his play calling, how disciplined he has and how focused I'm going like this. This guy comes out of college. He used to coach at Temple before he went down to Baylor. But I'm looking at him, and I'm like, this man can coach.
Think about this with Matt Rule. Matt Rule changed universities, right? Temple was no powerhouse. He turned him into a good football team.
That's right.
Baylor was in ruins. From an on-field and off-the-field standpoint, and he brought them to teams that are playing in New Year's Day bowls. He's a football coach.
I would remind y'all, by the way, that before Matt Rule got to Temple, I covered Temple for the Philadelphia Inquirer in the 90s. I'm a guy that once wrote they should kill the program. That's how bad the football team was.
He's a great motivator and a mover of men.
I don't feel that way now, but
and a great mover of men.
Coaches have to be.
Sometimes about X's and O's, but most times about coaching the guys, and he's great at that. But the guys he got, let's not go too far, guys. Let's slow it down now. DJ Moore, good players. Robbie Anderson, great dude.
Moore had a nice day.
But carrying it.
All right, so Michael's tempering expectations. They are better than we expected.
I believe they're right.
And as far as the Saints, we're thinking maybe more week 1 once they get their guys back.
I just can't believe
more, but kind of in the middle at this point.
I just can't believe what First Take has done to the playmaker. I'm actually saying
300 yards
that he's now
you want to raise him up because Zach had all
what happened to the guy?
Super Bowl with them. Stephen A. loves the Steelers. But I want to hear from the objective party. Is it time for the Steelers to replace Ben Roethlisberger?
When I see Big Ben, I think about me, and I think about all the things I used to say. I said, boy, I love football so much, man. They're going to have to carry me off the field. I'm going to be out here on crutches trying to still run that route, run that fire route. I'm on crutches trying to run that fire route. I said they'll have to carry me off the field. Ultimately, they did. They carried me off the field. But if they didn't, I would be like Ben. I would be out there playing ball when I know I'm not the same. And I'm going to tell y'all something. There's nothing worse than being in that game unsure, trying to muster up the same things that you used to have inside of you, like Big Ben standing in the pocket with people at his feet and still letting that ball go. We remember all them great days and all the great things Big Ben did, and we said, boy, Big Ben, he's so strong. He stands in there, people around, and he still gets. But now those throws are interceptions because he thinks he can still do it, but your body can't do it. Pittsburgh is about championships. That's what they're about. They've always been about it. Mike Tomlin, they're about championships. And if they really want to get to another championship, this team is presently constructed Ben Roethlisberger cannot be the quarterback. He cannot be the quarterback. He doesn't have a run game. He doesn't have.
So you're saying he can't be the quarterback anymore in 2021 or going forward after this year?
Well,
That's two different things.
I'm not saying they don't have, because they don't have a better option than Ben right now. If that's, but what I'm telling you right now is, as Ben is right now with that team right now, they're going nowhere.
Let me say this to you. I'm worried about my Pittsburgh Steelers. I ain't gonna front. I'm very, very worried about them. But it's not because of Ben. It's because of their offensive line.
Yes.
Their inability to run block. The fact that they have the second worst rushing attack in football yet again. Last 3 years, they've been second worst or worse. Najee Harris, we know can ball. We've seen him. He ain't the problem.
They had 39 yards rushing yesterday. He had 38.
Yeah, I understand that. But his blocking, he ain't getting much of it. And so as a result, you look at Ben. I've seen throws he's made to Chase Claypool. I've seen throws he's made to Deontay Johnson, not just against Buffalo, but yesterday. And I'm saying with those weapons, if you give him some protection, he will still have it. Now, it's deceiving because stay with me, Michael. He was only sacked 13 times last year. All right? He's only been sacked 4 times in the first 2 games. Not only 4, but it's 4 times in the first 2 games. I think if you look at Ben and you protect that man and he knows he's confident he's going to be protected, and that you give him some run blocking so y'all can run the football and mix things up, I think you'd see loads of confidence. The problem is they're a bit transparent and predictable because they know he has to throw the football because they know they can't run the football because they can't block with the run. And as a result, that puts him in a precarious position. And that's really the problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have no choice. Because you can't go to their backup. Don't get me started with that dude, Mason Rudolph. Don't even get me started with him. But the issue is that they're one-dimensional offensively, and that's what Ben Roethlisberger can't be.
But when you look at Ben, other than the first half against Buffalo, he's actually thrown the football well, right? You look down the stretch against Buffalo, he hits Deontay Johnson for the touchdown. You have the back shoulder to Juju Smith-Schuster and a dime to Chase Claypool. Yesterday, you get Deontay Johnson down the sideline, Chase Claypool down the same sideline. Like, he can still make throws and make plays. Big Ben is not the issue with this team right now. Are there better quarterbacks in the league?
Yeah,
Hell
absolutely,
yeah. Like but they ain't a better one in Pittsburgh.
Right.
But if you
who
can't,
can they get outside Cam Newton
that's what I'm
right
saying.
now?
Like, if you can't run the football and if you can't protect your quarterback, it's hard to generate offense anyway.
And no, Cam Newton is not the answer in Pittsburgh.
And
no,
we're saying Ben, you're saying Ben is not the issue because of all these other issues that they have. Now we have sit here and lamented quarterbacks for covering those issues, having the ability to cover those issues.
Right. Okay.
Tom Brady had a bad offensive line, but he gets rid of the ball. He sees it. He delivers it. He wears down the defensive line.
But they've always been able to run the football, Mike. They've always been able to run the football.
Well,
Pittsburgh Steelers, you got to have a running quarterback.
Here's the other thing.
A lot of throws
Let me tell
now.
you, I am glad you mentioned Tom Brady. Because the best thing and the smartest thing, the greatest thing he ever did in his career was leave New England.
Absolutely.
Because he understood. Let's go back to Tom Brady 2 years ago.
That's right.
He understood they didn't have no help for him, and he couldn't make them better. But you know who
felt like being.
You know who I can make better though? Who can help me? Mike Evans can help, right? Godwin can help. Oh, Gronk, come off of retirement.
Antonio
AB,
Brown.
come see me. And now he has all of these players.
Hold on. There's a difference though. New England didn't have any wide-out weapons, all right? No tight end weapons.
He got some weapons.
Right. So he goes to Tampa Bay, okay? And not only that, first draft, before he arrived, they buffered the offensive line with Wilf as well.
Yeah.
So we got all of that, right? In Pittsburgh, it's different because you don't have run blocking. And therefore, you don't have a running game, which makes Big Ben Roethlisberger one-dimensional.
Stephen A., you don't have no blocking. They ain't got pass blocking. They ain't got run blocking.
Don't make me feel like my lady sometimes right here, man. Because, this is when I have to say to her, we're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing.
We're just not understanding.
We're just not listening and waiting to speak.
Or she's just right.
You will hear that we are saying the same thing.
Got you.
Big Ben, y'all saying it too. Big Ben can't do it as presently constructed.
Right.
Y'all agreeing with me. I know it's hard for you to agree with me, but you really are agreeing with me. Honey, we're saying the same thing. That's all
I will say this. All right, you guys are stuck on the relationship metaphor, so I just want to say real quick, we do have to give props to Derek Carr again. I mean,
yes.
he
Molly, you were on the show Friday.
Yeah.
There was a question asked, Molly.
Yeah.
Who do you trust more? Derek Carr or Big Ben?
What did you say?
And I said Derek Carr.
What did he say?
He said Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay,
And
well,
he
now you got the data week 2.
And then, but you know what, though? I appreciate you wearing the Raiders colors today to be like, RC, you was right. RC, you was right.
May I answer this? May I answer this? May I answer this? I will remind you, RC. You see, this is where y'all get in trouble. He got in trouble yesterday because he was on TV and came in with the same suit. Okay? Where's him? You getting in trouble because you misquoted. Here's the deal. The question was asked about that, and that's fair enough. But what did I say when I went into my answer? I said last year, Raiders started off right. Last year, they ended up with a 6-3 record. And then over the course of 6 weeks, they lost 5 games. So what I'm saying to you about Derek Carr is, show me.
Okay.
I believe in his talents, but show me.
And I also remember you getting on Ryan Clark for picking against Big Ben because he won a Super Bowl with the Steelers, and he was an objective analyst, and he was right. Okay. Case closed.
Objective.
Molly don't realize she's going to get herself in trouble because I'm going to just watch you come. I'm just watch you come. That's all I'm going to do.
You can watch the Giants.
And Dan Orlovsky ain't going to be able to help her. Exactly.
Mr. Basketball.
You know what I'm
you
saying?
get ready for basketball
That's right.
season.
That's right. That's
I'll
right.
talk to you in March.
The best basketball season in a quarter century coming up.
Oh, my
The best
goodness.
NBA season in the last 25 years.
I believe that too, boy.
All right, the injury bug, unfortunately, was out in full force week 2, especially week 2 injury, just in terms of impact.
More ways than one. I look at the Carson Wentz situation and say, boy, that was the biggest. I mean, when you think about where the Colts are, you know, and the Colts were in that game with the Rams. They were playing a tight game. And then you turn around and you see what the Titans did. I'm talking for that division right there. And that's team-wise. They need Carson Wentz. But also, I leave the team and focus on the individual. You're trying to rebuild your career by trying to rebuild your man or your man reality, your mentality. Your mentality. You're trying to rebuild, get confidence, and you're on the way to doing that. And to get out, remember now, you got hurt. Next guy came in, took the team to a Super Bowl. You don't have to worry about that here. You do not have to worry about Jacob Eason coming in and taking the coach to a Super Bowl. But just for your mentality, man, I thought that was a big, devastating injury. And I thought you saw it on his face when it happened. He said he tried to do everything to get back in that game for his teammates. But I also thought for himself, he needed to get back in that game, and he just couldn't do it.
I can get where you're coming from with that, but I'm going to tell you something I think is bigger. Tua Tagovailoa for the Miami Dolphins. You have to remember, now he has to go out. Well, it was like completed like 1 or 4 passes for just 13 yards before and was sacked twice before he got injured. On the season, isn't that impressive? 17 to 31 in a game and a half or so. 54.8% completion percentage, okay? 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Wasn't great. The Miami Dolphins, this is their quarterback. He goes down. You got to go with Jacoby Brissett, okay? That ain't part of the plan. Number 2, remember, now that he's hurt, you can't play him and you can't trade him because they were talking about potentially trading him. Now, obviously, Houston Texans asking for a lot to get their hand to give up Deshaun Watson, and we get all of that. But the flip side to it is that with Tua Tagovailoa out, now you can't play him and you can't trade him because ain't nobody going to trade for a hurt player, okay? So you got that going on. Number 3, they had the pick before the Chargers picked Justin Herbert.
You know what?
And they passed up on Herbert to get Tua. If he is not on the field showing you that he's worth the investment, it ain't just him who looks bad. It's Brian Flores who looks bad. It's Chris Greer, the general manager, and these are brothers. These are African Americans. I'm unapologetically rooting for them because, damn it, we don't see that too often in NFL where you got a black executive like Chris Greer, just like you got Andrew Berry in Cleveland. I'm rooting for both of them. And I ain't apologizing for a damn song. That's right.
The owners that love Tua.
That's right.
Even so, you know, and there were talks about possibly taking Herbert, with that pick.
Yes.
But it came back to them owners. So Brian Flores may have been rooting or trying to get to Flores. We don't get to her.
Yeah, but
we
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying, but you and I both know this. The owners might make the call, and this is where we have to love Jerry Jones. I'm actually going to be serious here. This is where we have to love Jerry Jones. See, Jerry Jones don't put his hand out there, the hand of power, and say, this is what I want you to do, and then go hide when it don't work. He's right there front and center. Yeah, with me. I'm the one that made that call. I listen to other people, but I'm the one that made that call. You got a lot of owners that they'll sit up there and force somebody to do something, but they're nowhere to be found when the blame needs to be distributed, and they play the role in it. So I don't know if that's going to be Stephen Ross in Miami. I don't know that to be the case, but I'm telling you, when you look at those three components, Tua going down is a devastating blow for the Miami Dolphins.
Which team are you higher on? Which one do you think has a higher ceiling before the quarterback injuries? Would you go Indy or Miami?
Oh my God, I love. I think Indy has a great ceiling.
So do I.
With Coach Frank Wright.
So maybe they get Nick Foles.
Oh Lord,
they can't do that.
Why?
I just told you about the mentality of Carson Wentz. You're going to lose two quarterbacks. You're going to bring Nick Foles in. You're going to lose.
Michael, how many injuries has he had now? At some point, we have to look at him now and be concerned
they're trying
if
to
he can stay on
rebuild
the
Carson
field.
Wentz. He has first-round talent. He's with the coach that he's had his greatest success with. The most important thing is because you know he has the skill set. This goes back to what we were talking about with Justin Fields and the importance of a mindset of the quarterback. You cannot bring Nick Foles. I don't care if they ain't got no more quarterbacks in the NFL. You can't bring in Nick Foles.
I will say this. There's one condition under which you could bring Nick Foles into Indy, and that is if Carson Wentz would have missed games because of COVID. Now, that hasn't been the case. But from my understanding, when we talk about quarterbacks who have elected not to be vaccinated, Kirk Cousins was one of them.
10 days.
Kirk Cousins was one of them.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz was another. I'm saying if that is true, because I don't know what to be true or not, I just read it.
Right.
The point is, if that were to be true, you get injured, that's one thing. But if you miss games because of COVID, then they can sit up there and say all bets are off. Damn it,
what you want to do with Carson Wentz then? You want to get rid of him after that because he's no good anymore in Indy.
Yeah.
Because he's going to say you did the same thing they did to him in Philly. Remember, we're sticking with Carson.
Well, Philly didn't have Frank Wright.
He wanted out, right?
Philly didn't have Frank Wright.
So you'll break his mind with that. You'll break his mind. Right now, that's his team. You got to make sure he knows that's his team because he already dealt with the situation where he lost his team. If you want his talent, you got to fix his head, and this is the most important part.
Well, we got to get more information also when they're both going to be coming back with the rib injury and potentially the ankle.
Yeah.
All right, guys. The Brady to Gronk connection has been. I'm excited for this. Every weekend, obviously full of incredible football plays, but let's not forget there are bloopers too. It is time now for the debut of the segment that will make coaches sick to their stomachs. Stephen A., you are up first in this week's Double Take.
That's right, this Double Take. First up, look at Carson Wentz right here.
I'm sure the other guys feel the same way as I think we could do better. I really do, and I think we have the opportunity that.
All right, Tampa Tom looking unbeatable. So, Michael, I'll ask you this. Who is the biggest threat to the Bucs in the NFC?
Let me tell you something, man. When you talk about Tom Brady, I want us to understand. I believe they get through week 3 when they're playing those Rams. I don't know if I can see anybody to be beating them the rest of this year. They got Buffalo, I think it's week 14. They got a tough game. But outside of that, the way Tom Brady is playing right now, 9 touchdowns in his first 2 games. He has never, ever. It's so hard to find something that Tom has never done, but he has never done that. Even in those great years where he put up some incredible numbers. And I go back to even the 07. Tell you why I'm saying this. Let me tell you why I say this. Why it's the San Francisco 49ers and not anybody else. You have to be able to get pressure on Tom Brady. That's the only way you're going to beat him.
I agree.
You got to get pressure on Tom Brady, and you have to be able to run the football. You're not going to get and beat a shootout with Tom Brady. You got to get pressure. You got to run the ball.
And the San Francisco 49ers going up against Tom Brady. Because if Tom Brady was ever motivated, if ever there was a regular season game or a confrontation that he would be more motivated by, outside of going up against Bill Belichick and the Patriots, it would be going up against Jimmy G. Okay, that's number two. That's number two. All right. Number three. I'm gonna tell you who you got to look at, because I look at Tampa Bay. I can see them going about 15-2 this year. I can see them going about 15-2. I mean, when you got Antonio Brown, when you got Mike Evans, when you got Chris Godwin, when you got Gronk, when you got O.J. Howard, when you got Scotty Miller. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the multitude of weapons. And again, like you said, it's hard not to find something he hasn't done, but he's done it. So think about the things that's going to motivate him. When you talk about a team that can give him a problem, and you're talking about pressure up front, why would it not be the Los Angeles Rams? Why would it not be Aaron Donald and the crew? Why would it not be Jalen Ramsey in the secondary? Why would it not be offensively in terms of what Matthew Stafford is capable of doing, particularly if Cooper Kupp and Woods and the rest of the effort
in the Rams play Tampa? That's going to be Stafford and Brady. That's got to be an air-out event. That's good. You think Matthew Stafford's going to beat Tom Brady airing the ball out? You can't beat Tom at his game. You need friends to help you beat Tom Brady. Like a defense. Yeah, they got a defense. Yes. But you need a good, solid running game, and that is where they go wrong. And let me tell you something. Don't think that the 49ers can't throw the ball, but right now, Deebo Samuel,
I love Deebo.
He's playing. He's balling out. He has over 282 yards the last two games. Right. Only man that ever had better was Jesus and Cleats. Jerry Rice, he had 285, something like that.
First of all, that game's this week, in case you guys forgot.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we can't wait for that Bucks and Rams, and that's the only game all season that Brady isn't favored. But I actually want to go to your Cowboys, Michael, because I got some question marks. What's going on with Ezekiel Elliott? We saw Pollard doing just as much as him, more yards. I think he had 109. Zeke had 71. If they could really get the ball going again in terms of Zeke pounding the rock and that running game set and everybody healthy, do you think they could actually be a contender against the Bucs?
And when I came in, I told y'all, and I put those top five on there, and I told y'all this is a process. And I told you that the schedule lays out perfectly for the Dallas Cowboys in this process. This is exactly what I was talking about. Eventually, yes, the Cowboys can get thrown in that right there, in that conversation with being able to contend. They're going to have the confidence. They're going to have the confidence. You bring him in as a change-up. Right. That's what they're doing. It's a smart thing to do.
I would like to remind you that over the last several games, dating back to last season, Pollard has looked like the better running back for the Dallas Cowboys. Yesterday, he had 3+ choice. He had 320+ yards rushing. He seems to be more elusive, more evasive. All right, more elusive, more evasive. Plus, he can catch passes out of the backfield. All I'm trying to say is this: it could be a problem. It could be a problem because who do I get the ball to? Who do I get the ball to? I mean, who's it gonna be? I mean, who's it gonna be? That dude.
You trying to put Dallas back in the dumpster fire. See, what you're trying to do is get Dak hurt. Because all you got to do is punch up game one and watch how those Tampa Bay linebackers were blitzing and how Zeke stood up in the pocket and man up. Pollard ain't ready for that. I can't risk getting Dak hurt because Pollard can't pick up these blitzes. Okay. Yes, he looks good running the football, but when those blitzes come in there, they run right over him, and we can't risk losing Dak Prescott right now.
So you need a running back to help protect Dak.
Oh, yes.
Yes, right.
Right now,
so you need that. So in other words, when you got Ezekiel Elliott up in there, right, you're going to need him there to protect Dak Prescott, which means you're going to throw the football, which means that's why it was a bit problematic. Dak Prescott went 5 for 5 in your winning drive in the fourth quarter. They scored 14 points in the first quarter. They scored 6 the last 3. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say to you is that, there were some holes in things offensively, and Pollard, one could argue, came to the rescue. I just sense a little something going on there.
I knew this was going to start. I swear to y'all, I'm sitting last night. I got me some chips. I'm watching the guys sit down, and I hear everybody talking about Pollard and how Pollard runs. I say, they finna start this now. They finna try to crank this up. Pollard, and he did run well. And he's quick, and he got around the corner and did some great things. Right. But we got to protect the $40 million man, and that's Dak. And no one, there's very few people in this league that are better than Ezekiel Elliott at picking up the blitz. We're not losing enough to take him off the field.
So the $90 million man out of the backfield is a great blocker.
The $90 million man
the $90 million man out of the back
is a great player.
blocker.
And we had almost 200 yards rushing out of them two boys. Man, I'm telling you, hey, that run game, the way Dak is passing the ball and the way that defense is playing, when it all comes together, like Dak said to Tom Brady, we'll see y'all again.
Okay.
We'll see you again.
That don't mean it's going to be a good thing for them.
We'll see you again.
That don't mean it's going to be a good thing
We'll
for them.
see you again.
Whatever.
We'll see you
That
again.
don't mean anything. That don't mean you ain't going to lose again.
We'll see you again.
Stephen A., I do have a
We'll see
game
him
for you
again.
to go to, though. If you want to go to a game in L.A., I mean, the Bucks coming to town to SoFi Sunday,
Yeah.
now that is going to be a good game.
know,
That was Brady's worst game
I might
in a
have
Bucks
to go
uniform.
there. I might have to go there for that one.
That's one
I might think
I'd like to
I got
be
to
at.
call
That's
Les
going to
Snead
go.
and the Rams and see if they got a suite for me. If they do, I might have to show up to that
Oh,
game.
my God.
I might have to show that way.
That's
I'm not
going
sitting in
Why
the
did
stands.
I team
I'm not
myself
sitting in the
up for that?
stands. I'm sitting in the suite
Okay.
on the field.
So
That's one or the other. That's
All
what I'm
right.
just
We'll
doing.
make sure the spread's good for you.
That's
The Seahawks 3 yards in 2 TDs against the Titans. Stephen A. Smith.
Yes.
Which quarterback would you rather have, Russ or Kyler?
Shockingly, I'm going to tell you Kyler Murray. And I'm fully aware of the greatness of Russell Wilson. He's a future Hall of Famer as far as I'm concerned. He's carried the Seahawks franchise on his back. I love me some Russell Wilson. He is special.
Yeah.
But Kyler Murray, ladies and gentlemen, he's putting everybody on notice. He's 24 years old, okay? This brother already has passed for nearly 700 yards in 2 games this season, 7 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. He's completing over 73% of his passes. And I'm looking at this dude just make things happen. He's got an arm. When you talk about a guy that can move in and out of the pocket, extend plays, and create opportunities for his offense, in terms of running with the football, there's nobody better than him other than Lamar Jackson. There's nobody better than him other than Lamar Jackson. Now, Russell Wilson can move the chains, and Russell Wilson can extend plays, and we get all of that. Right. But the threat that Kyler Murray is at running the football, this dude is something to behold. And then when you take that into account and you look at the fact that you've got DeAndre Hopkins, of course, A.J. Green, and others, I'm just looking at it. Christian Kirk, let's not forget him. He's got weapons. He's got weapons. But he himself is a very, very lethal weapon. And I'm going to tell you right now, I can't sit up there and look at a Russell Wilson who I got mad love and respect for and say, even at this particular moment in time, at this moment, based off of these first 2 games, that, moving forward this season, that I would take him over Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray has put us all on notice. It's a new day, and he is coming.
Listen, this takes me to that old Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith argument, man. People always, man, Barry could have done this behind that Dallas offensive line. Barry's the great. We get caught up with dynamic. Dynamic is beautiful. Consistent is greater. Mm-hmm. Dynamic is incredible, and it's highlights. But consistent is Super Bowl and championships. And Barry Sanders was dynamic. Mm-hmm. But Emmitt brought that ring bling thing home. And I'm telling you right here, right now, Kyler Murray is so dynamic. But Russell Wilson is consistent, and he can bring home that ring thing. That's what makes that. That's what you want to talk about this season alone. These first 2 games, Russell Wilson, 46 passer rating. And he's thrown over 3 60-yard touchdowns in these first 2 weeks. Let's not just talk about what he's doing right now. Let's talk about the consistent greatness of Russell Wilson. Because how many games in this league are determined in those last 2 minutes? Mm-hmm. So many. And no one is better than Russell Wilson in those last 2 minutes. Tied for first in fourth quarter comeback. Mm-hmm. Tied for first in game-winning drive. Right. Nobody is better. I'm taking Russell Wilson.
Let me say this to you. If you're talking resume, I'm not disputing that. Kyler Murray's resume doesn't compare with Russell Wilson's. I'm talking about what we're looking at right now. Right. And I'm going to tell you also something that you didn't bring up, but I would ask you to bring it up. Russell Wilson has been playing under Pete Carroll. Kyler Murray's been playing under Kingsbury, who didn't achieve much in college. I don't believe ever deserved a head coaching job, but I will give credit to where credit is due. He's doing a good job right now thus far, okay? And so when I look at it from that perspective, I'm just saying to myself, excuse me, in the end, what it comes down to is that Kyler Murray has been putting us on notice as we've watched the Arizona Cardinals. I don't recall any games when we've looked at them in his career where we said it was him. He ain't the one that loses games for the Arizona Cardinals. It's usually something else. And now that they've elevated their personnel, and you combine that with elevating his level of play because he's got more experience, I'm telling you right now, Kyler Murray is special.
But do you think it's because he has better talent around him?
But look at him dancing in and out of the pocket. Look at how he moves. Look at how he creates stuff.
In a perfect marriage, because they were looking for each other for a long time, Kingsbury. And we talk all that Russell's doing, but we know that marriage got a little shaky.
Right.
So it's Russell does this thing that he does in spite of not going, with the perfect marriage, but he still produces and he doesn't make mistakes.
It's such a tough one.
He's such an incredible player. He does. Kyler Murray's the man, but Russell Wilson is right now man for
Mr.
me.
Steady. Kyler's second best odds to win MVP besides Mahomes, and then Kyler tied with Tom Brady for 9 total touchdowns, most in the NFL. We got a game tonight. That bad man.
Oh, yeah.
Monday Night Football. Believe in that bad man.
You damn right I do.
Yeah.
You damn right I do, and I'm not playing. Listen, y'all ain't never heard me speak about Aaron Rodgers the way I spoke right on this set last Monday. It was the most atrocious performance of his career. There is no question about it. But he's a bad man. And he's a bad man for a reason. And out this side of Patrick Mahomes, outside of that, this is the greatest talent at the quarterback position we have ever witnessed. And this brother has responded in the Matt LaFleur era with a 6-0 record, 6 victories, no defeats after a loss. This brother right here is going to show up. And I'm telling you something right now. He's going to put on a show tonight.
I hope he does.
I have no doubt in my mind. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. It was an atrocious performance last week. He will make up for it tonight.
Yeah, he will get back on top right now because right now things are not going good. But when he plays tonight, it'll be all good. Because anytime stuff go wrong, take 2 of the Lions. You'll be okay. You'll wake up in the morning feeling better.
They're the Tylenol. They're the Tylenol.
They will cure you.
Don't disrespect about Detroit. We saw some fight in them last week. Come on.
Listen, I think you have love for Detroit for obvious reasons, but that doesn't mean the Lions are worthy of that love.
Wait,
not the Lions.
We've got like a minute left. Let's just go back to that Sunday Night Football game because that was unreal. Lamar Jackson, can we just give him some props? How impressed were you with him? I know there was a couple interceptions.
Incredibly impressed. We know how much I love my Steelers, but Lamar Jackson plays like that. There's no denying that he's special, and the Ravens will be special because of it.
And coming back even after the interceptions, it's what's impressive.
Right.
That he made the mistakes and still made up for it and won the game.
I'm here in New York, so let me say that we didn't get really talk about this today, but in the days to come, I'm going to be bringing up the New York Jets. I really, really am. That was pretty damn bad yesterday.
Bill Belichick.
That was pretty damn bad.
Bill Belichick just beats
Well,
off on rookie.
It was.
You know he's got a big finish. I felt bad for him.
I felt bad for Zach Wilson.
It was personal, but it wasn't
his
even
second game as a rookie, you go against Belichick, I wasn't shocked.
Oh, my goodness.
But still, I'm looking at Mike LaFleur, the brother of Matt LaFleur, who's the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets. I mean, damn, figure out something.
Wait. Hold up. You know how you always imitate Kevin Durant, the whole thing, like, you know who I am, whatever it is? Yeah. That was Bill Belichick yesterday, right? I mean, after week 1, he was like, don't y'all forget. Week 1 might have evaded me, but hey, I'm here.
It's true, but still in all, you expect a little something. I mean, damn, my boy Jeff said that he warmed up his grits in the microwave and came back, and Matt and Wilson already thrown 2 interceptions.
Oh my God. It was bad. It was bad for the Jets fans. Jeff, my Uncle Rich, it was bad for all of them.
Cowboys.